Should this be my thumbnail? Oh, this is like some haunted mansion eyeballs. That should totally be my thumbnail. Okay. Hi fashion lovers. Welcome back to my channel, Thread Level Midnight, where we're gonna talk about reselling and clothes and monies. And today, what I thought I would do is, my last what sold video was all the way back in April. So I took a poll on Instagram of what you guys wanted to see, and what sold had the most votes. So what I'm gonna do today, instead of my usual what sold for over 150, I'm going to do everything that has sold this summer so far, and that's it. Can you imagine if I just did like 300 things in this video? We're gonna do everything that has sold in May, June, July, and August so far that has yielded a net profit of $100 or more. That sounds pretty good, right? Like that's some good content right there. Okay, so there are 22 items here. So we're going to start from the bottom, and now we here up at the top. And yes, this has turned into a real theme on this channel. I really, my last video was its own thing, right? I think that's obvious. I really only drink when I film YouTube videos. I feel like it's kind of a lot of pressure, as someone who's known for being hilarious, you gotta keep it up. Like, any help you can get is very welcome. So I'm drinking again some wine. I apologize for not releasing videos every single week, but it is really hard. It's not hard, but to be totally honest, I have not been in the greatest headspace in the last 2 or 3 months, really. And it's really affected my revenue. Shocker. Just being real, just like trying to get adjusted to some things and just trying to take care of myself, and it's been a little bit of a struggle. Let's do it. We're here. The past is the past. And, if I get into some trouble, I can just, So let's go. This is going to be exciting. And I'm really gesturing a lot more since I, did my little acrylic trick for these fake press-on nails. So I'm going to be gesturing like, I just love it. I just feel like one of those Hollywood skanks, and that's a loving term, skank, in this day and age, it really is. So let's go ahead and start. Coming in at a net profit of $100 even is going to be this lovely Love Shack Fancy Natasha dress. So this I did get at a consignment store. I got it at a good old Buffalo Exchange. I got this dress. It was like a really good sourcing day when I got this dress. They had like See New York and Ula and just like a few other, just the kind of things where you don't even check the comps because you don't need to. So this was a really good haul and I was so happy. The only thing bad about this dress, because it is a pretty popular style, like the Natasha is pretty popular. It comes in a ton of colors. This color was no longer made. It's like a pretty purpley flowery color, but the brand tag had been cut out of the back. And I still, so many of us have been doing this, and we run into this all the time where somebody cuts off the GD tags. And please let me know in the comments below, like, if you've ever actually heard a reason for this. Like if you've mentioned it and someone's been like, oh yeah, I've done that before, and the reason being, because I cannot understand. Is it like you have like a partner who doesn't condone you spending money on expensive things? And not only do they not condone it, but they know what the expensive brands are. So like you have to buy a dress and cut off the tag and be like, oh, that's from Target. Like what is it? So luckily it still had the Love Shack Fancy branding on the care tag, which was great. And the interest was still the same there as if the tag was there. So I got this for $40. I sold it in 5 days for $175 on Poshmark for a net profit of $100. Okay, our next one. This is an interesting one, and it sold in the summer. So this is a brand called Hope Macaulay, and she makes these huge colossal knit sweaters. This is like the thickest, I don't even know what to call it. It's like straight from a sheep's back. It's these thick old, big old, chunky ass sweaters. And this one, it was one of those situations where a buy sell trade store that I follow online in my area, they had posted it to their Instagram, and I called them, and it was actually up in Austin, and I wasn't even going to Austin that day until I called them and I put this on reserve, and I was like, how long will y'all hold it for? And they're like, oh, until the end of the day. A whole, 8 more hours that you have to come here. So I was like, I guess I'm getting in my car and I'm driving an hour and a half up there. So I went up there, and it was very pilled is not really the right word with this, but there was just a lot. Like I had to spend like a couple hours with just like little scissors just trimming all these loose, like this thing still had the tags on it, but it just looked like it, honestly, it looked like it had been worn, but there were no, like, it still looked new except for, I don't know, it just looked like someone had like put it on a carpet and just rubbed it back and forth. Anyway, that cost me $75, but brand new those are like $350, $400. And so I sold it. It did take a little while. It took 75 days. I sold it for $204 on eBay, which gave me a net profit of $102.38. So I would buy this brand again, yes. Yeah, for probably like anywhere 75 and under, unless it was like one of the really sought after styles, which I don't even honestly know what that is. Super helpful stuff. Our next one, this I also got from a buy sell trade store, and it was priced very well. This is a Doen mini dress. It's called the Puja, probably pronounced Puha. That sounds super weird. I don't want to say that again. I didn't like how that felt coming out of my mouth.
That's what she said.
And it was a 100% silk. It was a raw silk, like, those 100% silks that kind of feel like linen. It was one of those. And it was just a really cool, unique, like ties on the sides kind of thing. It was really cool. And for Doen, like, as long as it has stock photos, like, I'm good. I know it's gonna sell for like 100 plus. So it costs $16. Like, what? That's like Goodwill prices. I mean, Goodwill can be more than that. So I just love when you find something good at a buy sell trade store and they don't know what it is. And that was like the time when I found a new with tag Ace and Jig like jumpsuit, and it was a sought after pattern too, and they had it priced at like $24, and I sold it for like $285 overnight. Oh, I love when that happens. Oh, so much. Okay, so this one I sold it for $148, which gave me a net profit of $102.40. So, oh, I love Doen. I still remember the first time that I found a Doen sweater at that same exact store, actually. And such a good brand. Okay, number 4. This was a brand I had never heard of before, but I found it at a buy-sell trade store here in San Antonio, and it looked like something, it was like the kind of thing where you look at it and you're like, let me look at the care tag of this. Is this not polyester? It was like one of those where it has the brand name on the care tag and it was like cotton. So I looked it up. It's like a $400 retail jumpsuit. The brand is Susie Condi, and they had this price at $30, new with tags, and it had some pretty cute stock photos. So this took 1 day to sell. So this is a good brand, Susie Condi, and it sold on eBay for $153, giving me a net profit of $102.96. So yeah. I just love, because that particular store is like, they don't usually have that much, like you have to really search so many stupid things to find it, and it was a really good thing. And okay, number 5 was actually a Depop sale, crazily enough. This was, if you guys watched my day in the life video where I went to an Uptown Cheapskate that always has a bunch of Likely dresses, the brand Likely, like they must like have bought a liquidation palette or something. So this was, it was not new with the tags, but it was in new condition, and it was this black halter dress, and it's called the Claire dress. So got it for $30. It sold in 39 days for $150 on Depop, actually, for a net profit of $105. Yes. Okay, number 6. This dress is one that I got at that store, Too Good to Be Through, where, okay, my favorite thing by far of this store, so it's a buy-sell trade store, and it also has furniture. It's like half clothes, half furniture, and fuck the furniture, like I don't care about that, but their clothes section, they separate it. One half is designer and the other half is like non-designer. How amazing would that be if every store did that? So the designer part, it's just like Veronica Beard, Acris, Marchesa, like it's just, everything is so good, and then most of it's like overpriced, but you can find stuff that is like dangerously undervalued still. Oh, I'm getting like amped up just thinking about it. So this was a Marchesa knot red lace maxi dress, super pretty. I spent $100 on this because I had just sold a Marchesa dress like the week before for like $300, like almost $400, and I had it for 1 day. So I was like, yeah, let's do that again. And because I was like, this one's even prettier than the last one. Well, this one took a lot longer to sell. Like I was so shocked that this one didn't sell like super fast too. It took 81 days to sell, and I sold for $250 on Mercari. So paid $100, sold for $250. It gave me a net profit of $110.45. That's a little longer than I like to wait, but that's cool. That's okay. Okay, so the next one, this one was cool. So this one, I actually went to some Goodwills one day. It was a feeling lucky, and I didn't really find anything that was like my typical wheelhouse. I found 2 vintage dresses that were not gonna have stock photos, but that were like pretty popular in the secondhand community. This one was actually a new with tags from the 90s, Sue Wong, or I think it was the 90s. I mean, either early aughts or 90s. Sue Wong Nocturne, like a silk beaded sequin. It was in perfect condition. It was so cute. I mean, it's not like my style, but I knew that brand could do really well. So I got it for $14, and in 20 days, I got an offer on eBay for $150 for this. That might have been my asking price, actually. I think maybe someone, I don't remember, but that gave me a net profit of $121.35. So I mean, that's the Goodwill. Like I used to go to Goodwill so much more often, like last year, and you know, most things are like when you go to Goodwill, like $30, $40, $50 profit if you're lucky. But when you can get something that will net you over $120, that's just perfect. Okay, our next one was a new to me brand as well, but it's one of those like sustainable, slow fashion indie brands that like rich moms love to buy. And or you could be childless, I suppose. I'll give you that. But the brand is called Camperette with a K. And this was the Faru Silk and Linen blend, which that was the first. And you know what? This was another one that had the brand tag cut right the out. And that pissed me right off. But same situation because it had the brand on the care tag. So still got you. And I also saw when I was looking at the care tag that it was a silk and linen blend, and you know that that's some good stuff. So this I got at a buy sell trade store for $45. I sold it in 18 days for $200 even, which gave me a net profit of $122.21. And it had flaws. It had like the seams right here were starting to split, and I noted that, but I just made sure to put the like bicep measurement like across, you know, and yeah, someone bought it. So I would definitely buy that brand again. Okay, this one was cool. This was a situation where the Real posts something not realizing that it's a collaboration, making it a lot more valuable. And this has happened to me before. And honestly, this is where like Instagram and networking comes in, because if you can like kind of find some people that you jive with and they like you back and they just know different things than you, and that can really help you out because they'll just tell you things and be like, look at these, and you know, then you can go get them. But anyways, so these were actually some Uggs on the Real that were listed as just Uggs. So they were priced at $55, but they were actually Uggs and a Bathing Ape collaboration. So they were worth a lot more. And that's like the whole, what's his name, Lil Wayne. Oh no, I'm getting my Lils mixed up, but it's like his whole thing. And anyways, I went ahead and took an offer for $200, and because I got an offer for $200 in 2 days, and I did have them listed for like $300, I think, but I was like, come on, like let's just go ahead. Like I'm so past that point in my reselling career. Like I'm not gonna wait another week or 2 or 3 to get like $20, $40 more, you know what I'm saying? So sold for $200 on eBay, and I knew they'd sell on eBay, you know. So my net profit on those was $125.52. Okay, our next one. Okay, this one is pretty cool because I learned something. So you guys might know that Mara Hoffman is one of my favorite brands to resell, and this one I actually found at a buy sell trade store. And you really have to dig at this store. You really have to dig. But this, what I learned, what was so shocking, is that it was Mara Hoffman old tag, that like cursive, bronzy metallic tag, which I tend to just stay away from completely. I mean, the Mara Hoffman current era with the sans serif capital letters and the old one with the cursive are so different. They're like 2 different designers. It's pretty crazy, honestly. But this one, this style that has the sun with the sun rays and the ocean is pretty sought after. It's called the My Sun Ocean Sunset Bodycon Sleeveless Midi Dress, blah blah. So I got it for $18. And I was like, well, this is only $18. Like, well, let me look up the comps. And you guys, there were some sold comps on this exact dress for like $400. However, I didn't want to wait quite that long, and I went ahead and accepted an offer for $185 after 16 days. So yeah. And my net profit on this dress was $130, which is pretty good. I mean, considering that my goal profit is like 70, 75, that's pretty good. Okay, this one here is another Goodwill tale. So this was like one of those totally random things where you're not even planning on going, but you're like in the area of a Goodwill, and I had to kill some time. I was like waiting on my sister to get home, and I was like, let me just go into this Goodwill. And I knew that, like, in Austin, I know which Goodwills are usually the bangers and which ones usually aren't. And I tend to not even go to the ones that I don't find much at because, you know, but I was already there is the thing. So I went inside, spent like 20 minutes looking, found this strapless Jonathan Simkai dress. It was in a great condition. It had the optional straps. It had the straps. And this was actually a Rent the Runway dress that was like no longer sold, or it was sold, but it was like $300 to buy permanently or something, or more like $500. I don't know. But I got it for $25 at that Goodwill. I ended up selling it. Okay, this can't be correct. It says that it took 44,688 days to sell, but something about that doesn't seem right to me. It took like 6 weeks, I think. Let's just say that. And I took an offer on Poshmark for $195. So my net profit on this was $131. But the next one is a dress that I've sold before. And this is like one of those things where, you know, those certain people who, if they wear something, it's immediately super valuable, whether it's like a character on Euphoria or Kate Middleton. Usually when you find a person or a show that's like that, you probably want to go ahead and just Google like their best outfits or like their designers, or like really try to get the wheels turning in your head and build up the little library inside of the knowledge, so that when you see something that's like otherwise kind of boring, but since you know, the Duchess of Cambridge wore it, it's worth a lot. And this is one of those, because y'all, this dress is boring as hell. This is a Tory Burch Paulina, just like a knee-length sheath dress. I think it's super boring, like but I paid up for this $64 because I had sold it before. I got it from like the Style Encore. They obviously, like, again, who would know that this was a sought after dress? Like, just luckily, I don't know really what possessed me to check the comps. I must have been like, had my coffee, but didn't have to pee somehow, and just in a good mood, and I had time to spare, I guess, because I don't know if I would like just naturally check the comps on this dress. But I checked the comps. And this isn't this one. This is the first one, like months ago. And I was like, well, holy shit, what do you know? Like, it had some sold comps of like in the high 300s and down. So I got that one, and I think I sold that one for I don't know, $250, $240, something like that. So I was like, yeah, I got this one again. I thought that it was like $75, but it was on sale. I got it for $64. Sold it in 17 days for $262 on Poshmark. So that got me a net profit of $143.88. So again, like, I'm like really bad at, if I really like something and it has a stock photo that's just like of the bomb and it looks so good, I'm like, I'm gonna get that because clearly other people will want it too. And that's not like, you shouldn't really do that, right? You should only go off data. So on the flip side of that, like, this dress is like, it's not ugly, but it's just like nothing. To me, it's like nothing. Like, I would never think of wearing this dress. So just goes to show you, just look up those popular people, and just, if you're sitting there, you got nothing else to do, just look through what Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton have worn before. Yeah, I saw somebody sell an Everlane bag for like $200, like an Everlane, just like plain tote leather tote bag for like $200 because Meghan Markle carried it. She was getting off some plane with Ronald Weasley. Okay, the next one, and this was so very exciting to me. This just happened 2 days ago, actually. Speaking of Euphoria, this was the famous I Am Gia Lucid purple set that Maddie from Euphoria wears at that episode at the carnival where she comes to meet Nate's parents and he slut shames her for wearing this, and they get in a huge fight and she knocks over their little chili thing, and you know, Nate's dad is like there, and what's her name, Hunter Schafer is like over there, and they had sex and she's underage and he didn't know, but he's like a super perv, and he doesn't know that Nate knows, but Nate knows, and he's known for a while. And then meanwhile, here's Maddie like knocking over the chili, and then her and Cassie go do ecstasy. They buy some ecstasy from Ashtray. You know, meanwhile, Kat's like over having sex with some guy like underneath the Ferris wheel or something. You know, that old chestnut. So I wonder if this person is going to wear this for Halloween. Like, I really wonder that, because why else would you buy it for full price of $300? Let me tell you, I had my Prime Lister, the only reselling software that gives you every automation that you need. Prime Lister. I had my Prime Lister set to send 20% offers. This person could have got this for $240 without me even doing anything. But no, they paid full price of $300, and I had never seen somebody sell this for $300. I was just like, it's really sought after. It was new at tags. One day I was like, I'm tired of the FOMO. I want to sell that Euphoria set. I don't want the black one. I don't want the red one. I want the purple one that Maddie wore when she knocked over that chili. And so I went to Poshmark. I searched I Am Gia Lucid. Somebody had a new with tags top for sale for like $30. Went ahead and bought that. Went over to the Real, just like, you know, I searched every single platform, Depop, ThreadUp. I was like, let's find it, you know. I feel like I'm gonna find it right now, so let's find it. Went to the Real. Pants. There were the pants right there for like $50. So yeah, I spent, with tax and shipping, I spent $95 on this set, but I obtained it. I got it on a whim. Like, literally, I was like, within 40 minutes, I had the idea, and then I had it on its way to me. So I guess I just kind of own the universe that way. I can just think something in my mind and it'll happen. I wish. So anyways, $300, which gave me a net profit of $145, and it took 22 days. So that's really not bad at all. I would buy it again. There's actually one on the Real right now, a full set together, but I think they had it priced at $175. Yeah, so a little much. I like my way better, but I just really felt like a master of the universe that day. That was a great day. Okay, our next one. So I took a little bit of a chance with this one. This was a new attack Acris Punto night sky cotton eyelet kind of tunic top. And so with Acris and Acris Punto, their thing, like their pieces that sell for more, are the ones that are like really colorful, really graphic, or like a lot of times they'll have like, for lack of a better word, like a landscape, like some kind of nature thing, or like kind of like a screen print of a scene or something. Like, those are the ones that you want to gravitate towards. This one is not that, like it's all one color, navy blue, but all of the little eyelets on it really did look like a constellation. And the colorway on it was night sky. So I didn't just make that up. Like, that's how they wanted it to look. I added the word constellation because why wouldn't you? So I got it for $50 at a buy sell trade store. It's new tags. I was like, it wasn't even that I had a feeling. I just felt like this was one of those that was special enough to sell. And I was right, because this took 2 days to sell for $220 on eBay. And that gave me a net profit of $147.32. And I'll tell you something else. The person that bought this from me was a return buyer. So I don't want to get ahead of myself or think that I'm supplying movie stars with their outfits or anything. Even though it's probably true. The username of this eBay account is Judith Light. Judith Light. What if Judith Light herself bought this from me on eBay? Because, well, I mean, she's got to be like 70 plus, maybe 60 something, 70. Not that now I'm getting myself in a jam. My PR team's gonna be working overtime in the background, but I could just see someone like in that demographic wearing something like this, right? What if Judith Light bought this from me? I mean, because clearly you can only make your eBay name Judith Light if you were actually Judith Light, right? Kind of cool though. And she's a repeat buyer. I don't know what she bought from me before, but I should investigate that. I clicked on where it said repeat buyer and nothing happened. So I was like, oh, damn it. So anyways, I don't know. Okay. Now we're getting to the exciting ones. Okay, we are on the last 4. And these are all really good. Like, just all of these made me really happy. Okay, so this one I got from The RealReal. And it's rare that I spend this much, but it's also rare that this brand is priced this low. So this was a new Tag Zimmerman 100% silk tempo buttoned mini dress and spliced paisley. And I love Zimmerman so much. And they had this priced at $225. So with tax and shipping, it was about $250-ish. So I had this for 13 days. And okay, so why I decided to buy it, to pay that much for it. Number one, if you don't know, and I talked about this on my unconventional, whatever I called it, tips and tricks, hacks video. There are, whether it's Afterpay or Zip or PayPal, there are a lot of companies where you can pay in installments and not pay any interest, and the way that they make their money is in late fees. So as long as you pay on time, and they're usually automatic payments, so they just pay as long as you have the money in your account. And so that factored into it, because I'm not just money bags over here. Like if I can pay, $50 every 2 weeks instead of $250, well, that math doesn't quite add up, but you know what I'm saying. So, okay, so there was that. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm taking such a huge hit right now. That helps me. I like that. And there was not another one listed. And I mean, this wasn't the most glitzy. It wasn't like one of those runway pieces where they've got all the stuff hanging down and you just cream your pants to own it. But it was really cute. It had the matching belt, and it was in such good condition and new with tag, and it had lots of different stock photos from lots of different outlets, the Garmentour, the Net-a-Porters, the Shopify's, the Zimmerman itself. Like, as I've talked about before, that is a great indicator that something is going to be sought after, because the buyers that work for these companies, they don't work off of feelings. They work off of data, black and white data on what they are going to purchase from the brands to sell on their site, right? They want their cut to be as big as possible. It's extremely important for these $1 million companies. So when you look up something and you're finding all these different stock photos, then that's a really good indicator. And it's also really useful for if it's a brand that have been Vero'd for before, basically for using stock photos. So you will not get punished for using stock photos if you're using a photo that's from Shopbop, Net-a-Porter, Garmentory. Like those are not the brand's photos, so the brand's not going to care that you use them. So that's a great kind of workaround. That's why whenever I have ThreadUp Partner Kits credit for like Reformation, they have really been cracking down lately. I've gotten like my Reformation stuff taken down on almost every platform except Poshmark, literally. So I wasn't able to do it this last time, but the time before, I made sure that what I chose were dresses that had been picked up from a few other sites so that I could use those pictures, and bloggers, just independent bloggers as well, 100% count towards everything that I just said. Independent bloggers, if they are wearing it for their little photo shoots, then that's a great sign as well. And you know, buyers want to see things styled, so bloggers are great for that. And so anyways, all of the above. And you know, Zimmermann has a lot of dresses that are very similar in silhouette to this one, like the drop waist mini with the ruffle skirt, but then you add a belt for the definition around the waist. It had a big old balloon sleeves. It was gorgeous. And so anyways, I think it was a good decision because I accepted an offer on eBay for $502. I was so happy. Because that gave me a net profit of $188.94. You know, like even if you're using all of the knowledge and data that you have at your disposal, like I just said, you still are kind of like this, you know, like unless you're like someone who sells like Louboutins every day and you know exactly like what is going to sell, like, you know. But this was a Zimmermann dress. I never bought this one before. I was like, oof, like I hope that I'm right, you know. And, you know, I was right because this took 2 weeks, 13 days actually to sell. And amazing. I'm pretty happy with that because even though I spent $250 and only made $190, it only took 2 weeks. So if you really just focus on the profit, you can pay up if you think it's not going to take forever. So like, paying up off season, for example, is really hard. Like you really have to be diligent with where you're investing, right? You want it to be like 75% lower cost stuff, whether that means liquidation or you know, thrift stores, Goodwill stores, or just finding things really cheap because you're searching every single day on the platforms for the brands that you know very well. But anyways, and then the other 25% maybe you can pay up a little bit for. But if you know that it's going to sell pretty quickly, if it's one of those brands where it gets a lot of attention usually, especially if it's a very recent style, which this was, and new with tags. So somebody, you know, they messaged me on eBay saying if I'm very interested, or they actually sent the message with the offer. It was a $502 offer, and then the message with the offer on eBay was like, will you be able to ship this out like very, very soon because I'm only like in the country for another week or something. And so they ended up paying, which crazy when someone actually pays on eBay. That is bonkers. This dress right here, this is my my $28 pat bow dress that I got for $28 at a consignment store. I lost my train of thought because I got someone day before yesterday offered me $400 on eBay, and I accepted it like an idiot because I've sent them 2 messages now and they haven't responded. So I'm not getting paid for this. And that also happened last week with my Ellie Saab $8,000 jumpsuit. Somebody offered me $1,000. I accepted like a chump, sat there twiddling my thumbs for 4 days before they didn't pay and I had to cancel, you know, and just drown in a cup of wine. Okay, that was a long time spent on that one, but that's okay because we're in the top 3 now. Okay, our number 3 from the top. this one gave me pretty much just as much happy feelings. So this is a new attack self-portrait embellished taffeta diamante. It sounds like someone's name. Like some girl you know in middle school, her name's Diamante. So this dress I actually got from, I think it was Mercari, I'm pretty sure, for $115. And okay, these dresses, this is like borderline the things that I don't want to say, that I don't want to give away, because there's a fine line between being known for educating other people, and people generally like that, and like giving away secrets that will actually like kind of hurt you competition wise, especially when it comes to online sourcing where everybody has access, right? But because I'm just too excited about this sale, so I'm going to tell you why I sourced it and why it sold so well. So this one is a very recent style, and self-portrait has started this thing in their last couple of seasons where instead of going more towards the guipure lace route, they're going more towards the taffeta route, the kind of architectural, like the big kind of bustle hips that this one has, with these little borders of diamonds, and people really like those. If you ever see one where it has this kind of like diamante trim like this, then those are really sought after. And y'all know that I love things that are white because you can get a little bit more money from brides. Who knows if this person was getting, I have no idea, but it took 1 week and I got an offer on eBay for $380. Ow, my nail. Oh, these nails are on so good that if I do like get it, push on it, then it really hurts. Like that's how good they're on. Like, oh, that hurt. It's gonna like, it would sooner just lift up my natural nail than actually just the fake nail come off. Okay, anyways. What did I even do? Like how, there's nothing over here. Anyways. So 1 week, $380. And that gave me a net profit of $213.68 in 7 days. And so, self-portrait, Mara Hoffman, Veronica Beard, blah, 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 are in my top 5 favorite brands, the ones that I really try to educate myself on so that if I see a deal online, I can get it. And I got this one. And, and I've kind of been not searching self-portrait as much lately because I feel like it's getting, not oversaturated, but you just really have to be on top of your game to like really snag a good one. Cause like I have like this one, for example, like I got this one for $60, like real, that's an insanely good deal. But nobody wants it is the thing. Yeah, so like just for example, but you like know a good one when you see it, right? So anyways, this one was just so beautiful, and when I got it, and it was just in perfect condition, just nothing wrong with any of it, and I just loved how the little neck came up and it fastened in the back. My legs are falling asleep. So that was an amazing sale. The top, oh my god, my leg. Oh, I'm too old. I'm much too young to feel this damn old. Garth Brooks. Okay, this one was a full price sale, and it was actually, if you can believe it, the very first time that I have had something sent to Poshmark authentication. Can you believe that? Because I was like, when I posted on Instagram about this sale, I was like, I almost feel embarrassed to say that this is my first time selling something on Poshmark for over $500, but nothing to be embarrassed about, right? But it is. So this is my day one boo, Veronica Beard. This is a lamb leather jacket called the Shanty jacket. Not to be confused with the Shantytown. It's very different.
Full-blown Shantytown. We're screwed.
But this I actually got from the Real for $150. But Veronica Beard leather sells really well. So if you can find a leather piece that is like around the same price as all the non-leather pieces, well, like $150 is a pretty good price for just like a Veronica Beard blazer in general. If it's like a pretty good one, like non-leather. Like I bought one for $165 before, and I sold it for $325 and made over $100. So like, okay, that's neither here nor there. But if you can find a lamb leather piece, like one time, as I go into another tangent, one time a long time ago, I found on ThreadUp, like that was back when I was still sourcing on ThreadUp. I hardly ever look on ThreadUp anymore, but that was like before they kind of changed, if you know what I mean. Like in the kind of early to mid pandemic, they kind of changed a lot of stuff. And I found a pink Veronica Beard leather midi skirt, and that, I think I got that for $70, and I sold it for $250 on Mercari in like 3 days. So that was when I started learning, like, ooh, people really like Veronica Beard leather. And I looked it up, and it had amazing stock photos from all the different sites had it. And also Reese Witherspoon wore it on the morning show. So yeah, which, by the way, that show could have been so much better, you know? Like, I was infinitely disappointed with the morning show, but I could not look away. Ugh. I mean, don't even get me started on the whole COVID thing of that show. Like, don't do COVID. People have seen enough COVID in their life. Don't do COVID. So anyway, I bought it for $150. And I put it on my Poshmark closet, and I decided to price it at $565. I believe it was like $1,200 retail or something. And, you know, one day, a couple weeks later, congrats. Someone has purchased your Veronica Beard lamb leather shanty structured shoulder jacket, olive green, size 2, for full price. And, you know, I was like, is this a mistake? And it wasn't a mistake. And it went through Posh Authenticate, and it got authenticated. Yeah, so I got a net profit of $302 from that sale, which I feel like when I'm on my deathbed, you know, in the year 2095, and I'm looking back at all the most important moments of my life, I'll think about that Veronica Beard leather jacket that sold for full price on Poshmark. Okay, and our top sale of the summer so far, you guys might know what it is. I don't know. It is a Jean Paul Gaultier Soleil mesh set. And this is the one that I found if you watched my day in the life video when I went to that store, Too Good to Be Through. The one that has the designer stuff separate from the non-designer stuff. And this set was actually on a mannequin, like kind of by the shoes, like away from the other stuff. And I didn't, like, me purchasing this set got me educated into the world of Jean Paul Gaultier. Like, I didn't look at that and be like, oh, that's one of those mesh JPG sets. Like, I didn't know, but I was like, oh, let's check it out, because you know I love matching sets. So I looked at the tag and saw that it says Jean Paul Gaultier, and my little brain was like, I know that is a very expensive, and it's a vintage and all that. So I started looking up comps and got very excited. My friend was texting me that similar sets had sold for over $3,000. So they had this priced at $100. Like, combined for both pieces, $100 even. So I bought the shit out of that thing. It took a lot longer to sell than I wanted to. Like, I was pretty, I got it and I priced it at like $2,800 because of eBay comps. And I ended up selling it for $650, which was significantly less than I had originally bought it, but it was a learning experience and a very profitable learning experience at that. I mean, this print, this like flamingo tropical print has been worn by so many celebs. There's some on the RealReal. There was like just the top of this sold on the RealReal for $700, like just the top. So that's why I had priced really high. But you know, when there are those times when you really just need the money and you go a little cheaper than you wanted. This was one of those times, but yeah, like I really needed this sale at that time. But I was kind of afraid. So you know how like some buy-sell trade stores will knowingly sell counterfeits, but they'll price them really low. I was afraid that that is what was happening here, because I was like, surely this store that has all this designer stuff knows exactly the dealio with this set. Like, did they price it so low because they know that it's not real? Like, I was really worried about that, and I really needed the sale, so it was headed to Posh Authentication, and I was really worried because the thing is that even though the brand tag looked great, there was no care tag on either of the pieces, like not even like a cutoff. There was no care tag. So I was like 50-50 on if this was gonna get authenticated, and it got authenticated as authentic. I was like kind of surprised, but so happy. And I finally got my payout of $520, which gave me a net profit of $420. So that ended up being one of my best sales ever. I think that might be my second best sale ever. Because I know that one Burberry leather jacket I sold for $1,000 and profited, or no, what was it? I think I profited like $500, $600 on that. And then one time I sold a Gucci dress for $1,000, but I had paid $400 for it. So I think I made like $400. So I think this one is I think that was maybe my second or at least third best sale of all time. Okay, so I hope that satiated your appetite for content. I will just see you guys next time, and I'll try not to be gone too long this time, but cheers, and I love you guys, and let me know in the comments what your favorite thing was, and let me know in the comments if you've ever heard a reason for someone cutting brand tags out, because I'm still on the hunt for that information. You know what I'm saying? So see you guys next time. Bye.